What's going on, guys? It's your boy DeAnte. Break the cycle section. How you doing? And welcome to this week's Outlook video. Listen, guys, you already know the vibe today. I don't care. It's September 13th, which is my birthday, so it's carefree day as long as we catch those pips. Let's talk about it, okay? So like I already said, guys, in this video, we're going to check out GBPUSD, all right, for the whole week. So make sure you guys get out your pens and papers. If you get any value from this video, go ahead and click on the like button, subscribe, and click on that notification button so you never miss an update. Also, if you want to follow any of the charts that I drop in this video, I do post them in my free Telegram channel. You can find the link to that down below this video. Go ahead and get plugged in. I drop weekly signals, daily signals, forex trading tools, strategies, chart markups all throughout the week, guys. So a bunch of free content for you to hopefully help you make more money throughout the week while you're trading, alright? So make sure you guys check for that link down below. Without further ado, here goes GBPUSD. Let's go! Alright guys, so here we are, GBPUSD on the weekly time frame. You guys already know I like to start from the higher time frames and work my way down just so I can get an overall idea of what direction price is going. And you know, it doesn't matter if you're scalping, if you're intraday or a swing trader. In my opinion, I think that you should always look at the higher time frames. So like I said, you get the overall direction and then you can just scalp in that direction all day. You know what I mean? So, overall, we see here that it's obviously a downtrend, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a trend line here and I'm just going to drop it. Let's go from here to here. Alright, straight across. I'm zoomed out a lot so then I could really get an idea. Okay. Boom. So now, once we zoom in, alright. So, look at what we had in the weekly, guys. We had price, not last week, the week before last, hit resistance, okay? Hit resistance, the previous high it was at before, and it still couldn't pass it, alright? So after weekly, it hit that resistance and immediately rejected. Now we have a strong bearish push down, alright, from last week. A nice engulfing candle there, a nice aggressive move, okay? One other thing I want you guys to look at or to consider is that our TDI here, alright? Off of the weekly, our market sentiment is right on the 50 static, okay? Also, we see that our TDI has finally crossed over our trigger line, showing that, you know, price is shifting and momentum is shifting to the downside. Now, don't always get too excited if you start using the TDI. Don't always get excited once you start to see this TDI cross up here at the top and start to come down, because what can happen is you can find support right here and reject back up. A lot of times on the TDI, when you have a drop, you're usually going to have another push up and then the bigger drop will come, okay? So GBPUSD, I'm overall bearish on it, but I do want to show you guys a couple of things. I wouldn't jump into a sell now, okay? And what do we know? After a huge sell or a huge buy, you know, after a huge candle drop, you know, you might get one or two, but we usually look for what? A 50% retrace. Then we're going to try to see if we can find an entry, on this pair. So what I like to do is, after a nice strong candle like this, and, this ended on Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and drop a fib on here from top to bottom. And we were looking for generally a 50% retrace. So I'm just going to drop a little array here on my 50% level on my fib, okay? And just going to delete that real quick. Alright, so now we have an area of interest, okay? Right up here is where we're going to be looking for price to pull back to. And then we can find a long-term entry up there also, right? So what if you're scalping? Okay, long term, I think this thing's gonna pull down a little bit more. I want to see it at least come to our trend line and then push up, okay? But there's a couple things that have to happen before then. Like it has to break this support level. Right here. Right around 2800, okay? But what do we know about price level 2800? Basically, that is a bank rate, okay? And banks like to trade to these bank rates, and then around those areas is where you're going to see like stop hunts and stuff, or price reverse back up or come back down, okay? So right here, we're sitting right on 1.2800. Price did pass about a couple of pips. Let's see what things look like on our lower time frames. Okay, let's go down to the daily time frame. So here we are on the daily time frame. We see that trend line that we marked off on the weekly, okay? We see price still has some room to move to our trend line, all right? We still got some room for this to either spike down real quick, which wouldn't be out of character for GU, especially on like a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, beginning of the week. Usually, if we're looking for a big move to happen on GU, it really won't move until probably like that midweek reversal time frame. So it just really depends, okay? So another thing that's got me interested in this pullback happening is the TDI, okay, on the daily time frame. First of all, market sentiment is above the 50 static. And we know that anytime market sentiment is above the 50 static, that we're still considering, or it's still a bullish market, okay? So even though we had this huge drop overall, this could still be in that bullish market. Another thing that's got me interested in price pulling back is with our TDI and our price, our trigger line hanging outside the Bollinger Bands. This is called like a shark fin out the water if you're familiar with the market makers method or with the TDI, right? But you have to be careful with this TDI, because if you don't realize that these numbers over here, they move. They're not static. They don't just sit there like with the RSI and stuff like that. As price moves, this over here, these numbers are going to change. Okay, so you want to keep a close eye on that. Even though it looks like you're at the bottom of the TDI, you're not. You're actually right there in the middle, the upper middle or lower middle. Okay, so anytime we have like the shark fin out the water on our TDI, we expect for this to slingshot back up, okay? Remember, like I said earlier, maybe it was on the previous video, with this TDI, a lot of the time you're going to get a market formation or market pattern on that TDI, like a double bottom, double top, and things like that. Like here, you see price fell down, boom, came up, created a double bottom here on the TDI. Although it really wasn't showing that clear, price wasn't on the chart, and it bought right up. So here we go right here. When it looked like price was consolidating, if you looked on the TDI, it was actually another double bottom being created, and then boom, it bought up, okay? So using that same kind of methodology with where price is at now, I wouldn't be surprised if this TDI, this RSI line came up, and then came back down again, created a double bottom, and then decided to buy up and drop, right? So, just be mindful of that. Also be mindful that everyone and their mama, right, is probably looking for GU to pull up right here at the support level, okay? Everyone and their mama is probably looking for it, right? How many pips is this? Remember, this is 50% of the weekly candle that we just looked at, right? So that's 219 pips up. If we all see this as retail traders, the hedge funds and big money, smart money, they see it too, right? So people, probably drop some buy limits here, some buy stops, some sell limits up here also, right? So what's going to happen is, or what I wouldn't be surprised to see if we got another spike down, at least to our trend line. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to see what happens. That's still like another, how much is that? 137 pips, right? Another 137 pips in on GU, until we get to our bottom trend line. So I'm waiting on that. I'm gonna keep a close eye on it. We're gonna look at this on the smaller time frames, okay? Because remember, this is just one outcome, right? We trade what the market gives us. If the market doesn't decide to push and it starts to buy up, then we know how to react. Right? So let's drop down to the 4 hour. But first, I just want to show you guys. Boom! I wouldn't mind seeing that, back up here. Okay, having price come down just a little bit lower, couple more 100 pips. Okay, especially Sunday, Monday. Man, this thing might open up in a gap. We don't know yet. Okay, and then once it pushes up, I wouldn't mind riding that bad boy back down. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Remember, guys, on these markups, I'm not telling you what to do. It's your accounts, right? I'm not telling you what to do. My videos are educational purposes only, guys, right? So make sure you follow your confirmations. Make sure you follow your trading journal and what you do. All right. You can just keep my chart, in the background as another possible outcome if you have something different. Okay. So that's the daily. Let's drop down to the 4 hour. Actually, before we do, let me throw this EMA 50 and EMA 200 up on here. All right. So at this point, guys, we kind of have a bias, right? We want to see price pull up 50%, the weekly candle, and then drop, right? So now I throw my EMAs on here after I have my bias to kind of see, was I close to where my EMAs are lining up, or do my EMAs tell a different story, right? So we see that price fell down to our EMA 200 on the daily time frame. Once again, a lot of people are going to be looking for buys right off of this EMA. Personally, I'm going to wait. I want to see if I get a wick down to my trend line and look for entry there. Okay. And then, like I said, if it starts to pull up before that, then I'll reassess the situation. But that's what it looks like on the daily. The price is just playing in between the EMA 50 and the EMA 200. All right. Let's go down to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, here's what it looks like. 4 hours pretty interesting. Look, even when we charted this pair off of the weekly time frame, it lines up. That 50% level on that weekly candle lines up with the previous high after price broke our EMA 200, right? Price really didn't make it all the way back up to the EMA 200 for a full retest here, but it did produce a double top and then it fell, okay? So, with that being said, our 50 crossing over the EMA 200, that's just giving us more confirmation that, yes, GU is possibly heading into a bearish market overall, okay? Another thing we want to note about GBPUSD on this time frame is that market sentiment is well below the 50 static, signaling a bearish market on the 4 hour, okay? As well as you see our TDI and our trigger line, they haven't broken over our market sentiment. So when our full TDI, both boundary bands, are below the 50 static, then we also have market sentiment below the 50 static. Then we also have the trigger line and our RSI line below the 50 static. That's multiple confirmations just on the TDI alone that we're going into a bearish market, okay? So at this point, though, would I be looking for a full-on, buy back up? No, because the market isn't telling me that it's ready to buy up just yet, right? But yeah, we're at the support level, starting to hesitate. But like I said before, I'm waiting to see something like this to knock all those people out that jumped in early buys, okay? Once I see what happens around my trend line, if I get like a impulsive break back up or a candle formation showing us that we're going to go back into a buy, then I'm going to look for a buy up to our 50 static from the weekly. I hope that makes sense. So I'm waiting for the price to drop and then come back up. Just like this. Okay. If that does happen, I wouldn't mind taking the buy here. 50%, I might even go a bit lower. Right down here to the bottom of this candle. Just to be safe, Boom. And then I'll look to see if, as they respect that trend, that 50% retrace and come back down. Like so. Alright, let's make this look. Come back down, take profit 1, take profit 2, and then from there we'll see what it does. All right, we never want to speculate too far in ahead. At least I don't, because you know market could do anything, but we're prepared for anything. Okay, if it ends up breaking this trend line right here, what we'll do is you just wait for a retest. So let's say if this take profit 2 ends up breaking, then you would wait for the retest. Boom. Retest will come either here or here, guys. Alright, because they're so close together, especially depending on when this breaks out. Alright, so retest back up. Let's say back up to our trend line. And then we'll look for the continuation down. This will be where I will be looking for entry for another sell. So buy on this one, potential buy up. That's what I'll be looking for. And then I'll be looking for, you know, a potential sell down. Okay. Now, with that being said, guys, I've also charted up the dollar index and gold. I'll put those links down below this video. You want to go check those out if you haven't already, because depending on what the dollar does, it's going to tell you what GU does, right? Depending on what gold does, we'll be able to follow suit with GU, because they usually, you know, they follow the same thing. That's AUUSD, GBPUSD, anything XXX will usually follow the same trend. Anything USD XXX, we usually follow the same trend because they're based off of the US dollar. Okay, so if we're expecting the US dollar to pull up a little bit, then GU is more than likely going to fall a little bit. Okay, if we're expecting the US dollar to fall, then that's what we'll be expecting GU to buy up, as well as gold. So when you guys are trading, just keep the dollar index up on a different screen or up to the side, and keep an eye on that, especially if you're trading gold, GU, or any of like the indice pairs that I love to trade also. Okay, just a little cheat code for you, just in case you didn't know. Alright guys, that's it for GBPUSD. I hope you enjoyed this chart markup. I hope you got some value from it. If you did, go ahead and like this video. Drop a comment down below. I do reply to all of you, and also subscribe to this channel, guys. And be sure you click that notification button so you don't miss no future videos. As always, it's your boy DeAnte. Break the cycle section, and I'll see you in the next video.